Romina, oh Romina.
She kinda bad though.
This is a guide for the DLC boss Romina, Saint of the Bud, which, you know, is a really unintentionally or very intentionally funny name, and she is one of the bosses in the Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth 3 DLC. I don't know what it is about this boss, but usually all the bosses in Souls games are very like drab in color, like lifeless kind of, but her purple and pink colors are just so freaking bright. It's like so different in contrast to everything else in this game and even in this DLC. So I thought it was a really fun fight just because the colors were so freaking vibrant. But this lady, she is located at the Church of the Bud, of course. Makes sense, right? So to get to her, you need to go through Shadowkeep, which means Mesmer, which, you know, by the way, I also have a guide on him if you're struggling. Found a way to cheese him pretty easily. But yeah, you have to go through there and you go through the Rao, I don't know how to say Rao runes to eventually make it to her. You'll find a cave and you'll see immediately that it's that area they have to go through because there's going to be some pests there. And you know, the scarlet rot, it's all red, like you can't miss it. So I'll show you the build that I used to be able to take her down pretty effortlessly, and then I'll talk about all of her attacks and how to dodge them and counter them properly, as to, you know, not die, because that sucks. So this woman is weak to hemorrhage, frostbite, holy, and piercing weapons, and she is strong against scarlet rot, of course, standard, and fire. So as it is, y'all know me, I love blade builds. I used the backhand blades with blood affinity with the blood blade Ash of War because it's the only blood Ash of War you can put on these weapons. It kind of sucks, but you know, I wasn't even using it that much against her. You know, the weapons by themselves do most of the work anyways. And I was using a great shield because great shields in this DLC, at least in the PvE meta, are pretty freaking strong, and this is one of the bosses that it's actually really good against. So for the rest of the build, I mean, you know, go wild with the usual bleed stuff, the Lord of Blood's Exaltation Talisman, Millicent's Prosthesis, that kind of stuff, right? I also really like using the guard boosting talisman now, whenever I use a great shield, so you can do that as well. But yeah, it's just a simple bleed, arcane, and dexterity build, so go wild with that. Make sure that you have a lot of stamina as well for the great shield, and you have enough strength for it too, because most of the great shields you need 32 strength to wield them. That is the gist of the build, of course. You don't have to do that, she has plenty of other weaknesses, but that is what I personally used to defeat her. With no summon and with no help as per usual. Not because I'm better than anyone, but I want to see if the build that I use is actually strong, right? So with that said, let's get into her attacks. This isn't a particularly hard fight, it's actually a pretty easy one, but it's really fun. Now you want to bring along some preserving boluses, which you can craft or you can find in the game, and those will help you with the Scarlet Rot buildup. Now right off the bat, this woman has very slow attacks. They're very easy to dodge, and again, if you don't like dodging, you can use the Great Shield, which works just as well, but you know, make sure that you don't get stance broken because it's gonna hurt. So basically, she has a few slashes that she does herself with her pole blade, which is also the weapon that you get once you defeat her, or one of the weapons. Sometimes she will do one slash, sometimes she will do 2 slashes. Now it's pretty telling if she's gonna go for a second hit, but just wait a few seconds. Like, her recovery is so long that you can punish her pretty easily with the backhand blade because it's very quick and it's very quick to apply blood loss. Now there is one attack that you have to really look out for, which builds up a Scarlet Rot really rapidly and it hurts. She goes into the air and kind of coils on herself on the centipede, and then she comes at you with the sting and you kind of see it shine in the air. It's kind of like anime type of deal, like, look at this sting right here, this is going to hurt, you better dodge it, I'm coming down, watch out, this is pretty pointy, and then she comes down, you know, like, you have plenty of time to be able to react to it. But, you know, if it hits you, it freaking hurts. Other than that, she has an AoE attack, which is actually one of the other spells that you get if, when you defeat her. And you'll know it's coming because there will be a ton of purple butterflies around you, and if there's some around you and behind you, well, just know you're in the shit now, bud. So you need to get out of that AoE because it'll build Scarlet Rot and it does a frick ton of damage. Now another attack that she does, which is mostly in phase 2, is she will go for a 2-hit swipe, and then the centipede will also hit you. So if you're used to only dodging twice and then you try to hit her, well, you might just get trampled by that centipede. Now onto the centipede itself, it has 2 swipe attacks, right? One with a 2-hit chain, one a 3-hit chain. Now again, it's pretty slow, easy to avoid. I personally just use the shield, you know, if you don't want to get hit. Now it does have 1 grab attack, and it's pretty easy to see when she's going to do it, because she kind of throws her hand out, like signaling the centipede to grab you. And it does a crap ton of damage, like it just coils around you and sucks the freaking life out of you, and that's nasty enough, you know, all its little freaking legs are all up on you. Anyways. The other thing that the centipede does, it will roll on itself, just full on wheel coming at you, and it tracks, so, you know, keep that shield up, or just dodge twice, 2-3 times usually, and the attack is over. Now the kill shot, I would say, attack that you need to look out for when she's in phase 2 is kind of a tornado spin she does. She goes in the air, winds up, comes down to hit you. She does it twice, and then there's a 3rd hit at the end. But there's also a bit of an AoE explosion that happens with Scarlet Rod there. Like if you get hit once, twice, like it's over. If you're low health and you get Scarlet Rod build up on you, it's GG's. And you don't want that to happen. But again, the wind up is super slow and it's super easy to dodge. Like it is so telegraphed. This boss is very, very telegraphed. It kind of gives the vibe of Baby's first Souls boss, you know? But because it's so pretty, it's just a fun fight. I mean, that's really all you have to do here. If you're using any of the weaknesses, make sure that you use a weapon that is able to hit her rapidly. That will help proc whatever damage you're using quickly. I like bleed and I like the backhand blades, and they do the job very well. And you can also get some guard counters on her, which can stance breaker. I got one in that fight. So if you have the time to do guard counters or just wind up a heavy attack, then take that time to do it, you know. You're not gonna get severely punished for doing that. Again, if you're in trouble, just put the shield up and you'll be fine. So again, it's not a hard boss, it's so fun, but I wanted to make this video because I want to cover all the bosses in the DLC, and because I wanted to simp a little and get off my back, guys. So I really hope this helped you figure out how to beat this boss if you are having trouble with her. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon.